Let's see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah. I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra. Fuck with me, you know that I got it. Come with me, let's take a trip to the islands. We up on the jet, we'll do more than just fly on it. Stand on that hill, you gon' die on it. Boom, boom. Baby, I'm not one of them, you should try on it. Miss me with all that, I'm on it and next. Fuck this up, I send you back to your ex. But good luck with that, this is big as it gets. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. Give them a name to remember. Hey, let's see how you do under pressure. Let's see how you do under pressure. A moment can live on forever. Yeah. Oh shit, they don't let me shoot a whole clip. Firepower in this coalition. We just turned the field into a demolition. It was desolate.
Hey, what's going on? Happy Friday.
What's up?
What's up, Jared? How was your week, man?
Dude, a great week, honestly. Birthday.
Yeah.
Feel pretty good about that. Hit my stride on my birthday.
21 looks good.
21 looks good, man. But no, we talked to a lot of brokers, helped some brokers out with some bids this week. That was kind of interesting.
Intense. It was fun.
Really enjoyed that. Did some sales calls.
Yeah.
Did some prospecting with a couple of people. So I really feel like, today we're going to chat, about identifying the right prospect and what that looks like. And, things are continuing, at the end of the day, whether we were prospecting last year, the year before, whenever it may be, it's still about connection. It's still about relationships and finding the right fit. Because we hear so many people ask us, well, how do I know it's the right prospect? They fill up their lists. How do I know it's a good list? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What I love about this, everything you just said, you can do on eCarrierCheck. Like you said, this week we helped with the bid. Cool. Let's go find some carriers. Start calling. Let's get familiar with the area. What lanes do you run? Or we were looking at shippers. I was looking at shippers with another broker, and he's like, "Oh crap! Like I actually, my carrier used to work with that company." So we started calling those shippers and said, "Hey, my guy actually picked up from you last year. What can we do to get our foot back in the door? How's things looking for this year?" Like I said, everything you can just do on eCarrierCheck. I love it.
Yeah, and I honestly, I think too, what's
great transportation.
What's interesting about right now, we're not in the Jetsons movie. Trucks aren't driving themselves, not yet, right? They're working on it. AI is taking over from a perspective of process and stuff.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you still have to pick up the phone. You still have to have a conversation. You still have to friggin', communicate to people, right? And so right now, that window, man, I tell you what, this is the perfect window to just continue to grind and be on the phone and to be just connecting with people, no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yep. What's up, Chief Howler?
Fred is great.
Fred is great. I love the positivity.
I wonder if are you starting to grind out all your crazy multi-stop landscape stuff? You remember how last year he was doing like 15 stop, like
something crazy?
Dude, I appreciate your grind. But honestly, freight is great. I think if you have some good direct, care, clients, I think if you have some good direct, brokers from a carrier's perspective, I think things are good. From a broker's perspective, if you're just posting and praying, boy, you really need to right now. You've got to start to develop those deeper relationships in lanes that are going to impact your clients. You know what I mean?
Right. And there's a lot of ways to do it. Obviously, big fan of eCarrierCheck. But even on the load board, you can see what carriers are in that area.
Absolutely.
Just have a conversation.
Just pick up the phone.
Once you have the right pieces, things kind of start to flow. But you're right. We're at that point where you have to pick up the phone and start talking, have a conversation.
Yeah.
Especially with shippers, man. There's people are out there.
Not yet wanting waiting on the snow to go away. Yeah. The snow is ridiculous. Man, the Southeast just got destroyed this week.
Yeah. 4 inches of ice in Arkansas or Mississippi, something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know you were talking to a guy that was trying to move freight down into Mississippi, and 55 was just a train wreck. You know what I mean? Annual meeting next week, and hopefully the season will start in the next few weeks.
Nice.
Yeah, this is that time, man. Landscaping gets kind of crazy, especially if you've got some kind of specialty equipment, the lift gates, or even the refrigerated straight truck deals. Man, this is a good time to really smash through those things. But waiting on the snow, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah. It's crazy enough. We haven't gotten crazy snow this year.
No.
I don't know if it's going to come later. Maybe we get lucky this year.
We get a wet spring.
We get a wet spring, but yeah. So, but Jerry, I'm excited to talk through how do we identify an ideal prospect or shipper.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, if you're a carrier or a freight broker, point of views might be different here. I believe. You know, obviously, as a carrier, you know what you like to do.
Yeah.
Freight brokers, they may have more. You know, they may have more relationships, right? They may have a flatbed guy here, a dry van here, whatever it may be. Whatever you're looking for, eCarrierCheck has you covered.
Yeah.
So we're going to dive in here really quick and just kind of show you our shipper side of the portal, or I don't know why I keep saying portal, website.
Yeah.
And just kind of see what we can do to find an ideal prospect.
Our winner is over there.
Our winner, yeah. I'm in shorts today.
Yeah. You know, I think something that's important as you're a broker, and obviously you're going to keep showing this side, but you can kind of keep going, show some shippers, show how we find it. I think it's really important to know what it is that you want. You know, we get so many brokers that are like, well, if I could just get set up with Walmart or Amazon or you know, these huge companies, you know, they think that their life will be better. And I'm like, well, do they have the freight that you're good at, that you can work through, right? And so I think it's wildly important to, you know, identify what makes sense for you. You know, the reason why Chief Freight Hauler says the freight's good is because he knows what he wants. You know what I mean? He knows the shippers that need his type of equipment that fit where he wants to go in this world. He's not driving to North Dakota. He's driving where he wants to go. And he just has identified those good things. And I think that's what makes our site so unique is that if I've got a flatbed or if I've got a stretch flatbed or I've got, you know, a van, you know, in a liftgate scenario, I can get on here and start looking for shippers that have the same sort of menu of items that make sense for me, whether that's geographic, maybe that's a location, maybe that's equipment, maybe it's just the industry that you find some interest in. You know what I mean?
Right. So what I'm hearing is what you're saying is, yeah, great. I got a list of shippers here, but it may not be beneficial to just say, every one of these I need to start calling. You need to kind of do your homework.
Yeah, absolutely. Do your homework. And then honestly, you're going to get a list of whatever. Let's just say 10 for the sake of it.
Okay.
Then it's the human element. Do you connect with that person? Were you just a commodity when they called? Did they just add you to the list and you're going to spend all your time getting blown out because they have 40 friggin' brokers?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you want that one or not? I don't know. You know what I mean? Right. And so I think it's important that you build and get your list right here, right? But then you take that human element in and go, is this guy what I really want to chase my time with? Am I spending my money on revenue, or am I getting any traction? You'll know in a week's time if the client's worth your time or not.
Right.
You know what I mean? And maybe it takes a little while. You know, oh, this guy's good, or okay, I got through the bidding process. I got through picking up a load. I got through, you know, delivering a load. Oh, and I got through, you know, billing a load.
Right.
At that point, you know, did everything go the way you hoped? Was it what you wanted? We do a lot of monotonous stuff in this industry.
Right.
And so you better find something that you find entertaining.
Yeah, that's good input. And I think what leads me to this is how people are always asking, how do I find or even start searching, right? You can do it a couple different ways.
You search beans.
I love beans. So I went to, you can look up in our smart bar. This is what I kind of love about eCarrierCheck. You can kind of type in, okay, well, you know, maybe I moved some things in the past, or plastic or cranes or rental or roofing or whatever.
Right.
I love how you can search on the site and just like, okay, I didn't think of that. So you can type in beans, you can type in plastic, and then we just take it from there, right?
Yeah.
You look up shippers, and then bang, here's going to be your list. And there's 13 pages. But like Jared said, do your homework, go through these, and let's see what's going to make sense. We have a lot of good information on here, Jared.
100%.
We've got some emails. We got some point of contacts, phone numbers, and then we also can show you, in some cases, a hiring index. You know, how much do we believe they are probably using brokers or not? A lot of these shippers, they may have local contacts if they're only doing local work. But we have a little map here. We can kind of see where maybe they're moving some of that freight, where it's going. You can keep yourself organized. There's a lot of good stuff on here, man.
Yeah.
Go into a shipper profile and just kind of see, okay, where do I need to start?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think when it comes to your organization and your pipeline, you know, obviously we're a month into the year already. And if you were going to ask yourself some serious questions, where's your pipeline at? How organized is my pipeline? And do I like who's on my pipeline? You know what I mean? And a lot of people call us and they say, hey, do you have any scripts, or what should I say to shippers? I really want people to just be genuinely curious. How do you move your freight? How are you communicating? What time do you close? What are your clients expecting from you when it comes to paperwork or communication? Do they have appointments? I can tell you a million questions to be asking, but you need to keep that mindset of staying curious, of understanding their paperwork. When you see a bill of lading, let's read through it. Let's not just John over it. I think people are so they're 1 inch deep and a mile wide.
Right.
Let's really hone that back and try to just be successful in a couple good areas.
Right. And I think we got to realize too, what are you saying? What's that first hook or that first line is that you're saying on the phone? Like, are you picking up the phone saying, well, hey, I was curious on how you finding carriers? They could just tell you, we're good.
We're good.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you continue to say that and you continue to find the same pattern,
right,
let's flip to another line.
Absolutely.
Like you said, how do we get more curious? Maybe think of a different question that makes it more curious, right?
Absolutely.
And you have good examples. Get on ChatGPT. There's other ways to get more curious about what they're doing and just go away from the norm of, how do you source your carriers, or, hey, do you use brokers, or things like that.
Yeah. I just try to add some value.
Right.
In my mind, you should always value first when it comes to selling. And just, the question that comes up for me is, hey, how are you going to handle capacity or rates when they start to climb? Do you have carriers with rates in place, or is it something that you continue to put out on the spot market? Let's ask different questions. I think good coaches go all 4 quarters and just keep playing the same element. The great coaches, though, they do halftime tweaks and they continue to be great, right? And that same thing should happen with your sales calls. You should be measuring, did that work? Did you like my tone? Did I mirror what that guy was saying? Was I interrupting him? You should kind of have your sales calls and conversations sort of rated in a way where you can go back and say, you know what, I need to tweak this, or I didn't like this. And I honestly think recording yourself definitely not only allows and adds 10 pounds of weight on. Nate and I are actually not this heavy. I know you guys see us on YouTube. We're way skinnier, a lot better looking. But honestly, I think the key is to record yourself and start to give yourself feedback and really be the judgment of reality there.
I love that, man. So let's start here. We found our customer or our prospect, our ideal prospect, right?
Yep.
And I did skip over this, so I apologize, but you have that ability to look for, all right, let me find some shippers that are using open decks or dry vans, intermodal, bulk, whatever it may be, right? We get pretty niched. Let's help you find what you're looking for. So let's say you find your ideal prospect, you call, you're able to start quoting. What are some good questions to be asking this prospect before you actually start quoting or booking a load? Talk to me through. You kind of shed over a little bit. What are your shipping hours, receiving?
Yeah.
But give me a little bit more questions to be asking these prospects for actually quoting.
Yeah, I think the first thing that's probably unique about this that you just jumped right over to a certain extent is what allows you to ask great questions. Is the fact that our site, this is, in my opinion, when it comes to prospecting and starting a list, this isn't Zoom Info. This isn't like all those. There's a ton of these sites, right?
Oh, yeah.
Our site knows which equipment these friggin' companies use. Who cares what the name is? We don't care what a shipping manager's name is. You're going to probably get passed around a million times anyway.
Yeah.
You can find that out through the process. I know specifically that they use vans, or they use drop decks, or open decks. And my questions can be very specific to that type of equipment.
Right.
That's what makes our site so unique, is that our leads are based on that sort of thing. And you can be more specific with your questions. We're not starting up here. We're dialing in going, hey, we work specifically with stretch flatbeds, and we're looking for freight that's 80 to 120 feet, right in the Southeast, maybe even on I-44. Is that something that you move?
Right.
Woo! Now you're getting really
different,
specific. You're not going, hey, how do you move your freight? Right? We can get specific. And so then you can too with your clients or with your current, your prospect list, right? And so those questions need to be more specific, more even honed into, what's going on locally, so that you sound more local.
Right.
You know, in my opinion too, because of the way you can reverse logistics things or reverse engineer things on our site, you know, if I'm looking at, you know, stretch flatbed loads, I'm going to call some stretch flatbeds and say, hey, what are you seeing for rates per mile right now with stretch flatbeds? What type of product you moving? Rebar? Do you have to have 3 points of contact? You can start asking carriers some educational questions so that you sound smarter when you talk to those shippers.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
a great idea.
And so then it just starts to flip and you start having those conversations.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, actually. Because we are, like you said, again, we got to pick up the phone, especially because something we kind of hit on last week. When you do find a prospect, they're probably going to give you some of their toughest lanes they have a hard time covering.
Absolutely.
That brokers are failing on today. And this is where you come and be the hero, and no one's calling the low boards. You get on eCarrierCheck and say, hey, man, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
100%. I think that's what's probably the most unique thing is, you know, we helped a guy out this morning. A broker was looking for somebody that needed to move just a local crosstown load in a town that's been stricken by ice and snow. Right. He found a guy that knew the route, knew the area.
Yeah.
And guess what? He was able to mark it up a little bit more because he provided value to that client. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's probably the more unique thing is if nobody's calling on your load on truck stop and DAT, what do you do? And that's coming. That capacity crunch is coming this year. You know what I mean? We should see it where spring, summer, fall are going to be a little bit more challenging to find the right trucks. Right. You know what I mean?
What I love about eCarrierCheck too is obviously you book a load, your subscription's paid for that month.
Oh, 100%.
And you continue to book a load each day.
Yes.
You're set all year.
It's cheap. Yeah. eCarrierCheck's wildly cheap. No.
And then you get us.
Yeah, of course.
You get to meet with us privately. Let's talk about, you know, some strategies. Maybe you had something that come up with the shipper you didn't understand. We've had some really good calls with some really good subscribers. So,
geez, yeah. What's up? What's going on? It's good to see you. Yeah, it's honestly, it has been a tough week. The phones aren't ringing, you know. And so when they aren't ringing, then what do we do? Right. You know, that's the problem. Is, you know, you can work your database and call carriers that are in those areas, but is that enough of a blanket for you? Some people, yes. Some people, no.
And you always say this too. We allow you to fish differently on eCarrierCheck. You can send 100%. Emails.
Yep.
Start texting people. You know, get their numbers, text them, call on the side. Jeff Dickinson, what is up, brother?
This is the guy. This is the man. I freaking love Jeff Dickinson. I love his mission this year.
Yeah.
You know, if you guys haven't checked him out or even just anything with him, get on LinkedIn, connect with this cat. Yeah. He is trying to solve one of the biggest problems in our industry is fraudulent activity.
Fraud, yeah. Man.
I think they even have a conference coming up. I can't wait to hear about that. And so we'll have to have Jeff back on the show. But Jeff, good morning. It's good to see you, brother.
Love you, man. Good dude.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
But yeah, we allow you to fish differently. Yeah. On eCarrierCheck, find those guys in those areas, running those lanes, or gals. But yeah, we're a very unique site, and we say this every week. You have to pick up the phone. I think that is kind of the hardest thing right now for people to do. You're either mentally tired or exhausted. I get it. It's been a rough week, right? Like Jeezy said, it's been a hard, tough week. We just keep grinding.
Yeah.
Got to keep grinding.
And if you can, honestly, my biggest recommendation right now is continue to do that old school effect. Go out, visit your customers, go out and prospect, walk in with a flyer and a card. Yeah. You'd be surprised how many people are like, wow, you're here. You walked in. I didn't,
Especially if you're in a good area to do that. Like where we live, we have to travel.
We're in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so if you're in a good area, get out and
100%.
Put a collar on, whatever it may be.
Just look presentable and just present your company and just say, hey, are you guys going to Matt's this year? Man, I would love to. I got to figure out the dates. We should look at the dates and see when that is actually. Are you going to Matt's this year? I would love to know who's going because that show is just nuts. It's a lot of fun.
Where's that one at again?
That one's out in like Louisville or like Kentucky, Tennessee, somewhere in that mid-Atlantic area. I haven't actually been. I've always just seen pictures.
Yeah,
the guys at Logistics Lounge always go.
Oh yeah,
and they're good times.
Yeah,
so.
They are. Well, Jared, do you have any thoughts or final thoughts on what we talked about today? You always have really good insights. You were once a broker.
Yep.
So this is what people don't understand too, is this site was built by a broker. This YouTube channel was built by a broker. So I'd be interested to hear some final thoughts from you.
He says,
Like walking to a shipper security escorts me.
yeah, I mean, gone are the days of the 90s and early 2000s when you could get away with this. There's still days where you go, hey, I just want to pass this along. We offer these services and like to see if there may be a fit. Middle of flower season is wild.
Thanks for being
what's
here.
What's going on? It's good to see you guys.
Love you, brother.
Big fan of this guy, Eric Marino's the dog
Go
right
Cougars.
there.
I'm gonna try my best, but it's in the middle of flower season.
And you got to make you got to make your cash when you can. But I think one thing that's interesting, even with cheap freight hauler, I know people get busy. Is just Wednesday mornings make 3 phone calls. You know what I mean? And just continue to just work in what you do and how you do it. Jeff says this week has been tough due to the massive snowstorm that hit Dallas and Southeast Northwest, especially I-40, which handles 70%. It's the weather's been nuts this week. I think next week we should see, things kind of just go and just all of a sudden the interstates are open. People need to make money. But definitely one of those things that worth the time. Love you and Uncle Nene, of course. The goat. I love that.
Thanks for being here, guys. I really appreciate you guys. But yeah, Jared, any closing thoughts to end the week, or maybe some tips for everyone to kind of get going on Monday? Let's start with fire on Monday. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I honestly, I think what I would do. It's been a weird week. I totally get Jeff. I get GZ818. I think for me, you're writing out a list today. You're understanding and thinking through, what do I need to accomplish next week? And when you walk in, you don't have to think. It's already right here. That pre kind of goal sheet for next week is kind of in your mind. And you can start to kind of grind a little bit. You know what I mean? The other thing that's kind of interesting about Fridays, people are usually pretty relaxed. Make a couple calls today. It's kind of an interesting day to make cold calls. Kind of an interesting day to talk to your shippers. Jeff says, well, a lot of the freight's right there. Call your current shippers and say, hey, what's next week looking like? Things are thawing out. We don't see the snowstorms coming through next week. How can I make your life a little bit easier? And try to be a value add. Add more value than you're getting. And I think that'll continue to be the mantra this year, so that you can just help people out.
I love that, man. It's been a great week in the Southeast. The trucks in the Southeast couldn't get out, and the others couldn't get in.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, you kind of hit it on the head. Like sometimes when you're that local, legend, it's the way it is. You know what I mean? So,
I love it, guys. Guys, thanks for tuning in today. Appreciate everyone. Tune in Friday. We'll have some more stuff to kind of throw out there. Maybe talk some more eCarrierCheck. Talk about the week. We got about 5 meetings next week. We're gonna meet with some brokers as well. So we'll see what's kind of going on in the world, and